to Coffee with Kiran. On today's episode, I'm introducing you to the reality of relocating to Dubai and those vital first steps of your real estate career. I'm joined by some special guests who made the leap and built successful careers in this booming market. We'll hear their stories of relocating to Dubai, the challenges they faced, the secrets of their success, and the insider tips they have for anyone dreaming of doing the same. Get ready for an inspiring and informative conversation about navigating the Dubai property scene. Welcome to Coffee with Kiran, Christianna, Qamber, and Stasia. I'm so excited to have you all here. So let's start off with Christianna. So what inspired you to move to Dubai, and what was the reason behind it and the motivation?
So, first of all, I used to live in London 2 years ago. And obviously, London is not that safe anymore, to be very honest.
Okay.
It's the taxis, the lifestyle obviously is lower. So I came on a girls' trip in Dubai.
Yeah.
I saw the lifestyle, the quality that it has to offer, how safe I feel when I'm here.
Yeah.
Everything, is much better, I would say. And that motivated me. I knew I wanted to start my real estate career.
Why real estate? What were you doing before that?
So I was studying performing arts.
Oh, so total change.
Exactly. Yeah, but since the first moment I landed in UK, I knew I wanted to do something regarding properties.
So where were you before the UK?
Greece. I was born and raised in Greece, Athens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you doing there studying?
So actually I finished the high school and then I moved to UK to study.
Okay.
Yeah. So after my studies, then I finished my studies. COVID hit. I was at home.
Yeah.
I watched TikTok and surprisingly, the person that I came to work for here, I was watching him when it was COVID. I was watching his TikToks of what he was selling in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it felt like a dream at the time. I never expected that would be me one day.
Yeah.
Until I came on a girls' trip, and then surprisingly at the same time, he posted a TikTok and he was saying, "Oh, I'm hiring."
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, that's my chance.
Oh, it's like a sign.
Exactly. Everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah,
then,
for sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Okay, perfect. And then what about you, Stasia? What made you make the move to Dubai, and why Dubai?
Okay, actually, I used to live in Spain before for 3 years and a half.
Yeah.
And I always like the hot weather, the sunny lifestyle, to be able just not to wear any coats or a lot of clothes actually.
Yeah.
So just to have this luxury lifestyle that you just go outside always with a t-shirt. So I really like the summer, and here you have this summer. Entire
24/7.
summer. Yeah. This was one of the reasons. And secondly, because Dubai, I came once for a short trip to Dubai just to see how it is for 4 days. It was hot summer, June, in the end of June.
Yeah.
And I really loved it. Like, it was for me, wow, even 46 degree was okay. I was enjoying that so much. So I really fell in love with the city. And also
That's crazy, 45 degrees. I would just be like, no, it's too
I was
hot for me.
walking like crazy. Like nobody was on the street. Everything was closed. No restaurants open outside. So no basically people. So I was one of these crazy tourists that was walking around. I went to the beach. I walked like 2 hours, then about to faint, but I was enjoying that. And then I said, okay, I want to live here. This was one of the countries that wasn't that strict to the foreigners. Like for me being a Russian citizen, I could easily come here without all nightmare I had to pass through in Spain to get the documents basically or work permit to stay there. So it was much easier, and it's very safe country.
Yeah.
And I thought it's a good chance just to start again, and it has amazing opportunities there. Great. In other cities.
So you both came on holiday first, and that's what inspired your move, because that was my story too. However, Qamber, your story is very different, right?
Yeah, 100%. My story is obviously I'm born and raised in Dubai.
Yeah.
So it's just like a home for me.
Yeah.
It's more like I feel this is where I belong to. This is where I've studied. I've gone through my childhood here. My parents moved here long ago, and Dubai was not even well known in the world.
And where did they move from?
So they moved from Pakistan.
Yeah.
My dad moved here when he was single, and he got married. My mom moved to Dubai.
Yeah.
Then obviously our whole life started in Dubai.
Yeah.
We did schooling, university. My friends group, everything I remember of my childhood is from Dubai.
Yeah.
So it's more like not moving from a different country to this country.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like growing yourself within your home country, but as a foreigner, or I would say someone who's not a local, but basically a local.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing about us, I mean, we've worked together, but we're also friends, and you have so much knowledge about Dubai because you've been here from day
Exactly.
one. So that really helps. That's really cool. But so after you studied, what made you go into real estate?
So basically, when I was studying, my plan was to perhaps do my engineering degree or something related to building a product and going into business with that. However, it changed because at that time COVID hit.
Yeah.
So during the COVID, getting into universities or starting online studies, I went to university. I did pursue the path that I wanted to do. I got an admission into a university in University of Massachusetts, Boston. It was online. For 1 year, they said it's going to be online. Then you can come to the campus depending on how the situation is throughout the COVID.
Yeah.
And that's how I started my university career. However, within 6 months, I was kind of not feeling it. I was
going to
like,
say,
this is not for me.
Yeah, from what I know about
Yeah.
you, you're not the studying person. I'm not a
Exactly.
studying person. We're practical people
Exactly.
and get on with it and do the work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of dropped out in between.
Yeah.
And from there, I was looking for, something to work on, something which relates to what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was doing a lot of research on my own about what sort of suits me.
Yeah.
So it was either cars or real estate.
Yeah,
because
of course.
that's what I like. I like cars
Yeah.
and I like nice house and stuff.
Yeah.
So I came across a person who was hiring for his real estate company. They recently opened out to Dubai.
Yeah.
They were operating from a different country, but they opened a brand new office in Dubai, and he seemed to be a nice person. The company was very good. They had a good experience in properties. So I went out for an interview, joined that company, and said, okay, nice, let's give real estate a try, because that's something I'm passionate about. I know the city, I know the areas,
Yeah.
I know what developers launched back when the real estate started booming in Dubai. Because obviously I'm born and raised in Dubai, so I know the infrastructure, I know the whole plan.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is something I can really pursue or work on. And that's how my real estate career started, actually.
So you chose real estate because I feel like it was because you were seeing that industry starting to grow and be something. So you were smart and you got into it at the point that it was like about to grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go Christianna. So you said that you always had some sort of passion for real estate when you went to the UK. So what was that? What did you like?
So actually when I landed, a lady that I rented an apartment from her.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing. She
That-
was
in the UK?
In the UK, exactly, in Brighton specifically. She was purchasing, renovating, reselling. But at the time I was 17 years old, so I was like, in my head it needed a lot of money to start something like that.
Yeah.
But I liked what she was doing. And when I reached to Dubai, I understood that it doesn't really need money to do it as a job. Not only, but before I decided to move to Dubai, I had an interview in London, where I lived in during COVID. And I started comparing London real estate market and the Dubai real estate market. The difference was that in England, you work so many hours and you just get a basic salary plus some small bonus. When here, the sky is the limit. I mean,
Yeah.
the harder you work, the more money you make. So obviously that's a big motivator
So
also.
your motivation was purely for the money side of things. Well, you like the idea of real estate, but then
exactly.
there's been more money here in Dubai, right?
I'm an extrovert, obviously. I like to build a good relationship with a lot of people. I like to speak and meet new people. I like properties. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Stasia, what about you? What was your background before real estate, and why did you choose to go into real estate?
Okay, my background was really different. I have three
Tell us all. Tell us it all. No. So obviously, this is going to go out to people from all sorts of backgrounds, right? Mm-hmm. So although I know everyone's stories, I'm probing for you to say where someone else is going to relate to you, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be many people out there that were like you and that all have come to Dubai, and then from doing what they originally came to do, are coming to real estate. Mm-hmm. So this is why I chose you three as well. He's been here all his life. She was doing performing arts before and she was studying, and you like this whole background in journalism and stuff like that. So that's why I really want to paint a picture that because she was like, you've got more experience than me. I'm like, it don't matter. That's the whole point of this. We're all different people.
Different people.
I was working as a chef, completely,
you haven't mentioned that.
Out of the picture.
Okay, let's go back to Stasia. So Stasia, so what made you join real estate in Dubai?
Okay, so actually it wasn't really my choice. It was all like by chance, by accident, let's say, because I have never...
So the universe told you to do it?
There was a person who actually invited me to real estate, but I have never seen myself in this field at all. Like, I'm not a salesperson. This is what I knew since I was born, maybe. Yeah. And then my university degrees are very different from that, and the whole experience I had in my life, it's not about sales at all. So
what was it? What industry were you in?
So first of all, I've been to tourism and hospitality. This was my first university degree. Then I moved to Spain, where I had a master's degree in travel journalism and also a PhD in literary journalism. They were like all my experience was after hospitality. It was related to journalism, or kind of intellectual work, as I say. I used to work also on a TV channel, in Spanish broadcast. And after that, I used to work in the Mexican embassy, in the political department. Wow. So it was for me completely different work.
Totally different. I feel like you should be working in the government offices or something.
Yeah, I used to be I used to go for meetings with the ambassador, with political parties, with people close to the government, or from the government, better say. So as a translator and assistant, so this was completely different world. And the whole life after Spain and Russia was very different to what I'm doing today. So basically, when I moved to Dubai, it was my first job here was in tourism again, in hospitality, better say, in a hotel, Marriott Hotel in downtown. And it wasn't a job that I was enjoying at all. It was something that just gave me a chance to move to Dubai and have an accommodation, a visa, and kind of safety when you come to a new country.
Yeah, that security you need. Yeah.
And then at some point I wasn't happy at work at all. I wasn't enjoying this. I was really frustrated about the whole life in Dubai, because like you feel like, okay, you have a very small salary. You are not enjoying what are you doing, because you studied different things, you were on the different level, and here you find yourself being nothing.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like you have to start again and again, and it was really an awful feeling for me, just to be like not where I want to be. So then coming back to your question, why I'm in real estate. So I met a person who came to the hotel, and she just saw me and she said, I need you to work in real estate, because she was in that field. She said, you have everything for this. You have knowledge, you have presence, you have languages, you have experience. So she was the one who
pushed you into it. Going back to how you guys actually found the jobs that you went into when you first in real estate, where did you say you saw your job advertised?
On Instagram, actually.
So yours was Instagram, and yours was TikTok, and yours was not even an advert. It was someone actually just headhunted you, basically.
And even I didn't want to accept that. I maybe took a month to think about it, because
totally different.
Like, I didn't want to be a salesperson.
Neither of you actually searched for the job, right? It just kind of just happened, so it just came up. Whereas me, I searched for a job. Like, I looked on LinkedIn, so totally different experience. So, okay, that's interesting. I didn't expect that answer, to be honest. Okay, so what was your experience of the recruitment process? Again, I think when I came into Dubai real estate, mine was like a whole HR team. But I feel like you three probably didn't have as much of that type of experience. So What was yours like, Christianna, when you went through the recruitment process? Like, how did it all work? Like, what was the actual process of them recruiting you? What happened?
Honestly, it was pretty easy because the first interview, I had in mind that I wanted to work in this company because obviously, as I said, during COVID, I was watching my future boss, let's say, what he was posting. So I dreamed of working for that specific person.
Yeah.
The moment I had the interview, it was amazing. They sent me an offer letter, clearly, and I was very happy. I even had lined up other interviews, but I didn't even bother going.
What was the actual process? Sorry, I'm going to cut you off, because what was the actual process in that? So you saw it on TikTok, then what happened? Then how did you, what I'm trying to get is to people, like, how do you actually apply for the job?
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you've seen this video on TikTok about recruiting, about this company that's recruiting, and then what happened? What did you do?
So I sent an email, obviously.
Okay.
And then I arranged the interview with the admin. I had the interview and they sent me an offer letter. It was pretty smooth process. The reason being is it's very easy to get into Dubai real estate market. Everyone knows that because normally they don't offer salary.
Yeah.
So that's why it was very easy. You have a lot of choices to get hired. The issue is that you should think twice to which company you are going because it's very hard to maintain and stay in this industry and be successful.
Yeah. But that company you first worked at is where you and I met, and we worked there together. But we actually got a small salary, didn't we? So for me, it was like a lifesaver at that time because I was struggling financially. So having that income was a massive help. Did that help you make your choice, or you already made your choice? It wasn't about the salary.
I already made my choice, but definitely it was very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Stasia? So after the lady said she come and work with me, then what happened?
Yeah, so at that company I stayed for 2 months only because it wasn't the reality was very different from what I was told, and why actually I ended up being in real estate. Mm-hmm. So there were some marketing issues, and so there were no basically clients to work on, and I was very new in the field. So this time I just was learning and just to understand better the market, going to developers' offices and things like that, like every new joiner does.
What was the actual recruitment process from you? From her saying, come and work for me, then what happened?
Yeah, then I had an interview with the director of the company. It was just a very normal interview. There was no long process. Just we had a chat for 30 minutes or something. So they wanted to know about my experience. Yeah. They said that there is no salary, but they promised a very bright future.
Yeah.
And so this was the expectation to close many deals in a month's time or something, but never happened, of course. So after 2 months in the company, I realized that I'm out of money.
Yeah.
I left because the previous company, which was a Marriott hotel, they gave me, which was a 5-star hotel, they gave me an accommodation. So I had where to live. But once I left that work, I just put myself into that risk, real estate, without salary, without clients, without anything clear.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. And it was surviving, and just I left the company for another company. And basically, so
different, for example, from the company that I was, because with me they were very transparent. They literally asked me, can you survive 6 months, 8 months without any income? Because if not, this is not for you. They told me that you need to risk everything, work very hard, be patient, consistent, and then you're gonna close deal. They didn't promise me like lies and
So this is really unfair.
So I'm lucky. On this part they were very honest.
Everybody should do actually in real estate. They should be very transparent with people and say, okay, are you okay to stay for 6 months without salary in worst case then?
I mean, that is the whole reason for my podcast, to give the real life stories, because so many people are not told that. Let me go back to the original, which is, what was your recruitment process like? So after you'd seen this thing on Instagram, what did you do?
So I reached out to the CEO of the company, who posted for hiring about their new office in Dubai. They're building a team. They needed someone who is passionate about real estate. Prior to that story, he immediately called me for an interview. I went there, we had a short chat. I was very brief interview actually, because he wanted to know who I am. Obviously, I told him I'm just a fresh graduate, not even a graduate, I just joined university.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it. I want to do like something which is more kind of practical.
Yeah.
And something which resonates with my passion. And obviously, I had the knowledge of the city. I know about the areas. I had that basic knowledge which you need as a real estate agent, which is the information that you're going to tell your clients.
Yeah.
And it's the passion. So he saw that in me, and then perhaps after a week he called me in. He set a meeting with the sales director, and yeah, then I was hired. I joined the company next week.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, your guys' recruitment process is very different to what I went through. I literally first I started off with a telephone interview, then I had a Zoom interview because I was in the UK, and then it was a whole like going forwards and backwards, proving I had the funds to come and move over. I had to send bank statements, then I had to send all my documents, my certificates for my visa and passport. There was so much admin up front. So yeah, it was so different.
I remember when we had to go to the border so you can renew your visa.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
visa renewal. That was a tourist visa.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that experience because you nearly got deported. They nearly got rid of you. No, I've mentioned that as well, that we used to do border runs, and it was really not fair. But going back to the conversation, because you guys kind of started talking about it a little bit before, but I just want to come back to it. So the next kind of thing is, in the interview, were you given a clear picture of what the job actually entails? Yours will be a bit different as well. So in your interview, did you know what your day-to-day tasks were going to be? Like what your working hours were going to be, you know, and what training you were going to get? Although it feels like you probably didn't need training.
So when I joined the company, I mean, they were clearly transparent from day one. They were like, this is a job where you don't have any timings. You're going to be doing your work as per your client's requirement. The company which I work for, they were catering 3 different time zones. So they were working in US time zone, they were working in UK time zone, and the local time zone, which was UAE time zone. Mostly the client base was from UK.
Yeah.
So we had to work from UK time zone, which was kind of awkward to work in Dubai, because normally you start in the afternoon to go for something, for basically cater to clients who are in UK. So you are looking at a 3-hour difference. So you would normally start your day at 12 p.m, finish at probably 10, 11. And then in meantime, if you have a local client, you have to work early in the morning as well. So it was more on different timings, long working hours. It was told clearly that it's a commission-based job, so you have to make your own money. You have to put in the work, and it's just going to be mostly calls to start with.
Yeah.
So how it went was, obviously you have to work first 2-3 weeks or maybe 3 months to be more comfortable, to build your client base, your network. And that's where you're going to see the picture actually, where you can.
But were you told this in the interview? Were you told? So what my question is what were you told about the job itself in the interview?
Yeah, I mean, they literally, before hiring, they informed all of this.
Okay.
They said, this is how it's going to be. If you are ready for it and you think you can do it, we are happy to hire you.
What about you guys? What information were you giving in your interviews about the job? Like what you have to do day to day, what hours you would work, that type, what training you'd be given? What were you actually told?
Honestly, they were pretty realistic with me as well. I mean, they told me that you're not going to have a personal life, which is true when you have to work like 24/7, let's say.
Yeah.
Like viewing Sunday, Saturday, weekends, it doesn't matter what time. Meetings at any time. I mean, to be very honest, I knew what I was gonna have to sacrifice, because if you want to make money and you want to succeed, you have to make some kind of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I kind of enjoyed, to be honest. I'm happy with it because it paid off in the long run.
Stasia?
Yeah, I wish someone could tell me.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I was gonna say,
whole picture as
Yeah.
it is, and being transparent. No, maybe if they told me, I would have never joined real estate.
Really?
Yeah, because really nobody told me about anything. Nobody explained me about working hours or how the business is actually, or gave me any guideline. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
So
what
it
did you
was just
think-
going into somewhere where I expected a very bright future with a lot of money and not that much effort.
What did you think you were going to be doing?
Selling real estate, selling properties, but without any information about how at what cost. Like, okay, if you work 7 days a week, or it's 24/7, or that nobody will help you when it comes to actually a deal, or whatever.
You're on your own.
Yeah, you're on your own.
Without guiding you with the process, actually.
Yeah, without any guidance. So this was my case in my first company.
Did you get, what was your training experience like? Did you get any training?
Me personally, I was trained about developers because obviously when I started, it was more off-plan based. So I knew about the areas, I knew about the developers, but then at the same time, I didn't know how the selling process works, how the payment plan works, how the SPA works, or what are the exactly steps of selling a property or explaining it to a client which is overseas and he's new to Dubai as well.
Yeah.
That's my job to do. So that was the little bit of training I got. And then from then when I learned the basics, I just went on my own and learned everything about other developers.
Yeah. So you knew what you needed to do. You got an idea of how to do the job, then you went off and did it on your own.
Exactly.
What about you guys? Were you told you were going to get training? Did you get any training?
I did get training and I had an amazing mentor. Maybe in other companies, maybe you get better training, and thank God.
No, I can vouch for that. I was trained by the same person, and that person trained me first in off-plan. And both the people who were the owners of the company, they did a fantastic job. They did similar to what you were saying, Qamber. They gave me the foundations, like this is the kind of information you need to know in off-plan. And every time they mentioned something to me, I was off. I was learning it, researching it. They told me about an area. I was out there that same night looking at that area to understand it. So although I used a lot of my own initiative, probably a lot like what Qamber did, but they gave me those stepping stones and the foundation. So I totally agree that it's probably the best training that there is there.
I completely agree. I felt big support. Actually, he was like my close mentor, I would say. But for this initiative that we are saying, because they were giving us the tools and then we had to go do the research ourselves. I'm very glad that I had him as my mentor.
Yeah.
Honestly, he supported me with every step, every question, even 11:30 at night, he was going to answer my messages. And they gave us the right tools and then we had to go in our own and do the research. But thank you also because of you, I specialized in the area, which I closed many deals.
Yeah.
You loved it. You make me also fall in love with the area.
Yeah.
Because you were like a big sister to me. Honestly, she played a big role, guys, in my success, let's say, because she took me and she showed me everything. I didn't even know where Business Bay is. I was like that fresh. And she was like, come with me.
Even though we were working in Business Bay.
Exactly.
Even we were working in Business Bay.
Exactly. But she showed me literally everything. I mean,
No, we did. So we obviously became good friends, and we went and looked. I used to go take her with me when I used to go to different areas, and we went to go see some developers together as well. But actually, our paths went a bit. We weren't doing this. I was doing off plan, and you were doing resale off plan. So it was, although it's overlapping, it was not the same type of job. But no, I think it definitely helps having people around to help and mentor and guide you. Like Qamber taught me a lot about, I think, secondary more than anything else. I think I knew quite a lot about off plan. So yeah, it's really helpful. But what about you, Stasia? Like what kind of training did you ever get in real estate, or did you? It sounds like you didn't get much in that first job. What about?
Yeah, and first job, the lady who invited me, she gave me kind of training there from her own experience, because she was doing really well that time and closing a lot of deals. So she taught me somehow, I know, how to speak to the client. Like it was her way, how she deal clients. And for me, it was maybe that time, wow, like I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to talk to clients.
It's too advanced.
I was trying to follow the same style of communication with the clients, but then for me, it wasn't successful, So I just understood that I have to find my way and just being myself, like with my communication, because you cannot just copy paste someone success, what is good for her. it's not good for me, it will not work for me.
That's really important. Sorry, I was just going to say that, you know, you can often people like, I want to be like you. I want to do it the way you do it. You can't. You've got to have your own style.
Yeah.
You've got to figure things out for yourself and what works for you. It has to be natural because you can't fake it too long. Don't do that talk.
You told me that in the beginning.
Did I?
Yeah.
And I'm still saying it today.
yeah. It's so useful. I had the right people, you know, close to me. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you guys first started the job, what was your actual feelings? What was you like on that first day? Were you ready to go? Were you like nervous? Like what was your experience like on that first day?
Definitely nervous, but I was enjoying it. It was something new for me. Honestly, I enjoyed every step of it. Even if times were obviously tough and with the way that I had to manage the money until I closed the first deal and everything. But I'm very happy. I don't regret. I don't look back. That's all I have to say. I'm feeling blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me as well, I was ready for it. I was like, bring it on.
Yeah.
I was excited. I was like, yeah, perhaps this is what I was waiting for. And finally it's here. So the first day I joined, I was just like on the call straight away.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the training, but at the same time, I want to try and apply that training as well. So I was just doing like, you know, basic trial calls and stuff like that. So I was quite excited. And yeah, I mean, it was hard for sure, because obviously I was nervous speaking to someone I don't know. I've never done any calls to someone who I don't know and sell them something or advise them on something. It was kind of nervous, but then at the same time, the more I did it, the more confidence I gained. And yeah, it was a learning curve, but it paid off definitely.
Sure. That's it. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand at the beginning. Those first few phone calls are going to be your worst phone calls, but you have to get through those wrong ones, the test ones, to then move on to the good ones, because practice makes perfect. But I'm going to ask Stasia this one. So when you made your career change, especially internationally, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced?
So it was really tough because it was a long process of accepting myself, a new Stasia, doing something very new. It was like being someone who you not are. So I cannot say that I was excited like you, for example. My first day when I came to the office in Business Bay of that real estate company, my first real estate company, and I was like threatened by being in this new field, and I didn't know anything, and people were like calling and going for meetings and being so knowledgeable, and I was like, oh my god, what I'm doing here, like how I will call someone and say, okay, let's buy a property, and how I will approach a person, and how I didn't know anything. So it was completely different me, because always I was like, no, I don't want sales, I'm not a salesperson at all. I have to write books, I have to be on a TV show, I have to meet people, learn languages, and so on, like completely different world. So yeah, it was a very strange feeling in the beginning.
So because Dubai real estate market is really competitive, what did you do to stand out in the crowd, to make yourself different and stand out a little bit more?
I would say it's my social skills. And it's just the mindset. I mean, always, wherever I went, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm in a restaurant, I'm in a bus stop, I'm literally waiting for the elevator. I could see everyone as maybe potential clients.
I don't know if you remember when you first started working and we were working together, I literally think it was your second day, and you came up, you'd gone downstairs in the lift, you went outside the building for something, went to the shop, and then you came back in and you came up the lift and you're like, hey, these guys just started talking to me, they want to buy properties, what shall I do? This is the number. I was like, what? Like, you'd literally been there, 48 hours, and you bagged that client. That guy had loads of properties, didn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah, indeed. And another couple, actually in the elevator, because they were confused which elevator to take. And I was like, oh, how can I help you? And then the conversation rolled into they were interested to buy a studio for themselves. That's what I mean. I mean, it's also like the law of attraction that you have to want it and see it as a prospect. I mean, the mind need to be there, you know.
The thing with me was like, obviously for me it was knowledge and getting to know the clients, what actually the client wants, giving them what they want, instead of just agents in the market who've been selling one developer to a client who might want a ready property. They might be pushing an off plan to them. So for me, it was more understanding the client, understanding what their actual requirement is, if they're investors or end user, what would be the right fit, and just giving them the right knowledge and the right options to make yourself, one of the ones who understand the clients and have the right advice for them.
So how does that make you stand out?
So it makes me stand out in a way that I support the client in their goals. I make it like as a personalized investment plan for them.
But don't other agents do that?
I mean, not everyone in the market do that.
That's what I need you to say.
Yeah. Not everyone in the market do that because they're all looking for commissions.
Yeah.
They're all looking to sell something which pays them well, which their company wants to sell,
Yeah.
which is beneficial for their awards at the developers show.
Definitely.
But for me, it was more the client, what he wants, what caters to his requirement, and what fits its goals and investment strategy.
For sure. I mean, I think this is what my biggest frustration is with the real estate market in Dubai, is that you have so many people that have got no experience, that just come in, just want to make some quick money and get out. So they actually don't care about what the client wants. They just want to find that, I don't want to say gullible client, but they have to be gullible to just believe in what, here, buy this. Okay, I'll buy it. But they're not explaining why is it a good investment, and they don't ask them the questions of what's like needed and stuff. But I think you're pretty good as well at having in-depth conversations, right? To establish what the client wants.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think, as you said, today real estate market is really full of agents. You have for each client maybe 4 agents. So I think this has never happened anywhere in the world at all. So Dubai is like a synonym of real estate now. Yeah, everything is about real estate.
Yeah.
Everything. I
Flight
don't know. Even
attendants
this
and real estate.
show is about real estate.
What did you say?
I say flight attendants and real estate agents. If you ask what are you doing in Dubai?
Yeah. So real estate is everywhere. The agents are everywhere, but the quality is not everywhere.
Lacking, 100%.
And so I think I always choose quality. I go for quality, and for personal approach. Maybe it sounds very typical, or that's something that is actually should be, always when you deal to a client in whichever business. But here it's important than any other, because we talk about the investment of people and about big money. So we have to be really knowledgeable and to know the product very well, and to know how to give this message to the client, how to be not just pushy and make him buy anything, but just to explain the value of the product, why your investment should be in this project or this area, and not anything that is just being on hype or
I think
just more commission, because some agents, they will go just being honest for a higher commission.
For sure.
When I talk about projects, I even don't know how much is the commission. Sometimes. And I forget about this part of conversation, or it doesn't define my choice.
Reason for selling. No, I think when you and I first started working together and we went to the different developers' offices, I think we saw, we seemed to like the similar. Actually, to be fair, I felt like you have very high-end quality taste, as in, the more luxury developers, the very good quality and build. But then at the same time, you were just as respectful to the lower end of the market, the more budget-friendly developers. And then I think ultimately we did a 360. We were like, actually, we like Dubai Islands. We fell in love with that Dubai Islands at that time, and really were convinced by what Dubai Islands is going to be. And we actually didn't care which developer was building on there. It was more about, actually, this location is going to be amazing for you. So that's for sure, definite. But let's talk about Dubai itself. So how long have you been in Dubai?
Over 2 years.
2 years. And yourself, Stasia?
Over 3 years.
3 years. And you know,
My whole
all your
life.
life. We won't say your age.
I opened my eyes in Dubai.
Okay. So let's see. So during your real estate time, what changes have you seen? What have you noticed? I'll give you an example. Like for me, I've noticed in my first year, I was seeing a lot of investors, people coming to buy investment properties. And then the second year, I started to see more families coming. The first question I get asked, even though it's a real estate inquiry, how do I set up a business? How do I get my golden visa and sponsor my family? Then they want to ask me about property. So it's changed so much now to the point where I feel like the market's changing more now to where there's people coming here to be permanently here. Yeah. They're not coming here for holiday homes and all that type of stuff. Like, what have you guys seen?
So basically, from my experience, when I joined real estate, at that time it was COVID.
Yeah.
And Dubai was the only city which was allowing people to come to Dubai, stay here, still enjoy everything. They had lockdowns, but then they said, okay, the world is not going to stop.
Yeah.
We cannot keep people inside the homes. We have to take necessary measurements. However, we can still allow people to enjoy their normal daily lives. To some extent, maybe the rules was like have a social distance, mask and everything. That caused people from all around the world to come to Dubai. So that was not the case before. Before, Dubai was famous, people were coming, but they didn't know that Dubai had the capability of handling such a big pandemic such efficiently, which changed the picture and the image of Dubai in front of everyone.
100%, because that's when we came as a family.
Exactly.
We came because we were hearing how safe Dubai was. Yeah. That's why we decided to come for my mum's 60th birthday straight after COVID.
Yeah.
So it was massive about how well they dealt with COVID.
So at that time, people started to think, okay, nice, this can be the city where we can consider living ourselves, because at the same time around the world, they were struggling with salaries, they were struggling with jobs, people were getting kicked out from jobs.
Yeah.
There was a lot of homeless people, there was a lot of unemployed people. So everyone looked towards Dubai. And at that time, Dubai started utilizing that. They started utilizing it to their benefit, to their economy. They started kind of creating new jobs for those people. And at the same time, the good thing was that people were doing work from home.
Yeah.
So anyone who still have a job in probably UK or US or anywhere around the world, they can work from home. So they were coming to Dubai, staying in Dubai, mostly in hotels or short-term rentals, which kind of increased the demand for real estate. At the same time, people started realizing that, real estate over here can be good, because wherever you go, you have to see like all the people who made money is through real estate. Anyone who made money has investments in real estate. So that's where caused the boom of real estate in Dubai. It was initially investment into off-plan, into existing properties, and then started slowly like people realizing that this is where we can do our businesses as well. So when that businesses factor came in, Dubai also initiated their 2030 plan. They started supporting sustainability, clean energy, which is what the World Forum and everyone around the world is supporting. The business leaders started looking towards Dubai, and suddenly like family offices, all the wealthy people wanted to move to Dubai.
Yeah.
So throughout that time, let's say after COVID till today, it's been a huge change in terms of people coming to visit, people looking to perhaps move like 6 months of the year to Dubai, to kind of setting their base in Dubai, having a family in Dubai, and completely shifting to set their head offices or businesses in Dubai. So that's the reason we have seen a lot of trade licensing getting registered, properties, people looking to buy ready properties, probably renovating old ones as well. Now that's a huge kind of trend in the market. So all sort of sectors like business sector, real estate sector, employment, everything kind of changed since COVID.
What changes have you seen, Christianna?
So since I started, I've seen that the flipping, for example, with 30% is no longer available in the market. And that's why now I see a lot of investors or people that they were lied to from agents that they only cared about the commission.
Yeah.
They were told that, on 30% you can flip it with a lot of profit. This no longer exists in the market. To get honestly a good amount of profit from the investment you're gonna make, you have to wait until handover. That's 100%. When you're gonna get the demand from the mortgage buyer. That's the truth. The only way that there is flipping right now in the market, the only kind of small flip, would be if you find, let's say, a distressed deal below the market price just before handover. And for that, you need to be a cash buyer only.
And can you get a distressed deal? Because any distressed deal I hear about, I blink and it's gone.
Exactly true.
Yeah, and I think that what Christianna said, I agree with her. There's the only difference is like when you think about Dubai real estate after COVID, because that's when the market started booming. There was very hand few of developers who were famous in Dubai who survived that downfall of the real estate market. They were launching products. So we used to have like 4 launches a month, and the supply was less. The demand started growing massively. So that's when the flipping was working, where people would be like, okay, let's pay 20% down and then we can perhaps sell it for 10% premium or something like that. But now, comparing that 2021, 2022 period to 2024, 2025, you've got probably hundreds of developers. Someone who used to be developing in in London or in their home country, they have moved to Dubai.
100% agree. There's so many developers now.
Exactly.
It's so hard to keep up with them all.
Yeah. And you just cannot. I mean, if you see the report, there's a new project launching every 30 hours.
Yeah.
So imagine you wake up and you have a new project.
Yeah.
You go out on the roads, you find every week a new marketing material or marketing billboard of a new project.
Yeah.
So as a real estate agent as well, it's quite hard to kind of keep up with it. It's just like you can only perhaps look at the right developments.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
and unfortunately, a lot of people they get forced actually because they were lied to sell with loss.
Yeah.
Because they were told that, oh, for sure I can resell it for you 30-40% with profit. Boom, the agent disappears.
Yeah. And then who's going to sell it for them? And then people.
Another agent.
They need
this
to
is what I'm
lose.
facing now.
And they need to lose money. That's very important. I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely agree. And now there are many sellers that are trying to sell their old plan at 20% of completion, and it's not possible. It's very hard to sell your project on the construction phase and to gain profit. But this is what they've been promised a few years ago. Let's say in 21, especially when many Russians came here to buy properties. They were buying everything without understanding, just to buy anything in Dubai. And these people are trying now to resell the projects. The projects are not yet completed, and it's being a very slow process. And of course, we cannot talk about a huge profit that was promised to them by other agents.
Yeah, by other people, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was a different time then as well. So you can't, that's the whole thing of market change. We're not still where we were like 2 years ago. Going back to your guys' experiences, what's the biggest pros and cons you guys have experienced of living and working in Dubai? So this is just your life in Dubai. So you've left not you, but you've left your home countries and you've come here. For me, like I said from the get-go, there's no reason for me to move back to the UK. Me living here, it's just really propelled me to go after my goals and dreams and do everything that I thought was not possible in the UK because of the environment in Dubai. Like everyone's a go-getter, everyone's thriving for more, trying to be the best they can be. It's just a can-do attitude here. So for me, that's a massive pro, because I don't think I would have achieved so much if I hadn't have moved here. I think the con for me, oh God, what is the con? I'm actually quite happy right now for a change. Like normally I've got a whole list of cons, but right now I think...
I mean, it's very hard to find a con for Dubai. If I compare it with my home country, I mean, I'm not born there, but obviously I travel because my parents, they're from Pakistan. I have a Pakistani passport. So if I compare to Pakistan and Dubai, it's a complete different picture. Because obviously I have a few extended family members in Pakistan, and we used to go to my country for summer holidays and stuff like that. So if you compare these two countries, for me, it's a massive difference. Like, you don't have safety in my country. You don't have good transportation. You don't have good healthcare. You don't have good business opportunities. Taxes are very high. Whereas in Dubai, you get good infrastructure, health and safety, transportation, the city life. I mean, basically it has everything to kind of take you to where you want to be in life.
But your lifestyle's very different because our families are not here.
Yeah.
So you've grown up here. You've got a friendship circle here.
Yeah.
You've got family here. So we've had to do that all from scratch.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately the con has always been and always will be is starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Like you have to start from the bottom. You know nobody. You don't have the network. You don't. I mean, you guys know I was living in a studio for 2 years in Urjan. Love my little studio, but it was time to upgrade. And then like finally, and thanks for coming on the viewing with me. But finally, we found me a better apartment with a beautiful view. So that was the con. I think was of having to, start from scratch and really struggle to climb up.
Yeah.
But what about you guys?
That's true. I mean, not sometimes. One con I would say is feeling lonely, obviously. If you don't have your family, which is very important to me. I have a very good relationship with my parents and my sister. So this was hard, but honestly, looking the other way around, it has so many advantages. So overall, I'm very happy. Keep it short.
And also,
No, it's fine.
and also what I think about Dubai is because it's at a stage where you would say US would be in 1980. Everyone we know who's coming to Dubai is coming to make big, to make their career, to make their lifestyle. So Dubai gives you that opportunity to make your dreams come true. You have massive opportunity of networking with anyone you want. No matter which field you're working in or what business you're pursuing or what lifestyle you pursue.
We're going to get to networking.
Yeah. So that's what Dubai has for you.
Biggest networker on the table.
I completely agree. Exactly.
Yeah.
It has everything. Well, actually, you covered every single thing, I would say. But it's more that most of people, at least in my circle, they have big dreams, let's say. They are like-minded people. They want to be active in all aspects of life. They want to be active in sports, in work. They have a lot of goals, so that's what I like. I think that if I was back in UK or even Greece, I wouldn't be able to achieve that. They have some different lifestyle. Plus here, you can be financially free if you really put the work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree as well. I think Dubai is the place where you really can make money and you have all the opportunities here. No taxes, as we already mentioned.
Keep everything in your pocket.
Yeah, and this is a big privilege that you don't get in many countries. And so I think, from this point of view, maybe the only part that is missing for me in Dubai is this cultural part that many other countries has, in Europe or in even Russia where I've raised, you have this cultural historical part that you can feel like the soul of the city, let's say. Sometimes here you feel I really love Dubai. I love many areas and I find it beautiful and amazing city, but I mean sometimes you want this a local touch of just to go and meet local people,
like
to feel that you are
But Deira's not Deira's.
Dubai.
No, I was gonna say, but Bird Dubai, Deira, as much as people say it's old Dubai, there's no Emiratis there. Is that what you mean? The actual authenticity.
I mean, you cannot just go in Spain and to sit with some Spanish people, have coffee on a terrace, in some bar or cafe.
Yeah.
So it's just the part for me to feel like you have culture, because the city is new, it's just 50 years old, so you don't have a historical area where you will go and you will find, this building is 100 years old, or this museum, or everything is very new here.
We're used to
and
Europe.
You have 90% of people from all over the world, and it's really amazing, and I do enjoy meeting people from different cultures. But if we were talking about what I like, if there is something missing in Dubai, this is my point.
I totally agree.
For everything else, Dubai has everything.
Yeah,
so.
Because I'm from Nottingham and we're famous for Robin Hood. But we have, we are. Yeah. Robin Hood was real, I don't want no one telling me anything different. But we have a road called Maid Marian Way and Friar Lane and things like that. And those roads have been there for years. And there's cobbled roads and there's churches and old buildings and things like that. So I get it. It's like history and the culture. And Nottingham's known. I'm going to punch Nottingham now. Nottingham's known for the lace. So we used to have the lace mills and stuff like that, and breweries, and they are all there. So I get what you mean. It's missing that old school touch of the history of Dubai, but there is no history other than the fishing, maybe in like
Absolutely,
Dubai or
even
something.
the old city was completely renovated, so you cannot say that these buildings are authentic, and it was created in a way, right, to also attract.
Do you know, I never thought that was missing until you just said that now, and now I realise what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think because I get it when I go home, like I'll
me too.
get it.
Yeah, when you travel to Europe or you go to Russia or you go to the UK, you will find this kind of things. But I mean, it's this is what it is. We are in a very new country and in a new city, which really grew up in 50 years, and not any other city in the world could do something.
Yeah.
She's right though in one thing that she says about the group of people, because I've realized it. The majority of nationalities, they stick together, something which I don't do, but I see a lot of people do. But I mean, the locals, they stay only with locals. Lebanese, only with Lebanese. Brazilians, only with Brazilians in their own community. They don't like to mix. Not many people like to mix here. That's what I've realized.
Why?
Like Indians with Indians. I've seen that they prefer to be with their own people. Because maybe they miss what she said, like their home country.
Yeah, it might be a part of that to feel a bit of home comforts. So guys, if someone is listening today and they're considering a similar move, what piece of advice could you give them?
I would say my biggest lesson, because obviously the thing for me, the advice I would give them would be a lesson which I learned the hard way, would be to kind of stick with being honest, because in the start I was not told to be honest. I was told to be focused on certain developments and push that to everyone, no matter what they're looking to buy or what they want to achieve with their investment. But yeah, I would say understand the area, understand the market, understand your client properly, have longer conversations with them, get to know their real interests, real investment goals, and give them an honest advice rather than looking at what you're going to get out of it.
So in real estate terms, this means qualifying the client properly. Yeah, which is one thing I've always said. Make sure you qualify properly. If you don't qualify your client properly, then you are just going to totally miss something, and the whole deal will fall through. Like you can really misjudge something in that.
And if you qualify your client properly and you give them an honest advice, they'll always stick with you. They'll always recommend you to their friends. They'll always trust you. You're going to do more business with them, rather than selling them something wrong and then later on they're going to write a bad review about you or perhaps talk bad about you or your company. So it's always good to be honest with them and give them a real advice.
True, I agree. Two things for me quickly is one, the rejection part of the calls, for example. I wasn't used to it. It was complete shock, with people being rude to me and people saying no and no and no. And honestly, my mentor said it's part of the game. Like rejection means success at the end of the day, if you keep going. And the second thing that I would say is that I've lost a couple of deals like that, is the following up. You need to follow up with a client.
The money's in the follow-up.
Literally, it's so important.
Yeah, completely agree with both. To be consistent is very important, and not to give up in real estate, because you will feel like to give up hundreds of times or thousands of times, especially when you just start. And it's to have also a good expert in real estate who you can follow or who you can observe or ask him for advice. This is what I actually didn't have in the whole time.
Mentor.
But for new guys who are joining real estate, they have to have a good mentor or someone who could guide them or give them a hand in the beginning, because really you will need to learn lots of information. Lots. It doesn't seem, real estate is not a paradise or like an ideal world that everything or might be seen like that. No, it's a hard work. It's about being knowledgeable, about reading a lot, visiting a lot, talking a lot to people, to know about the history of Dubai, to know about the numbers, about the investment potential, about every single thing you have to know. You need to know the secondary market, how it goes. Even if you are specializing in off-plan, you have to know it.
You have to,
You cannot just say, oh, I am only selling developers. No.
So it's like about
even mortgages you have to know about.
Mortgages, of course, is part of it. The tenancy contracts.
If you want to be a successful agent, for me, what it is like you need to be an all-rounder, is what we say in the
jack of all
UK.
trades.
Yes, that's the UK saying too.
Yeah.
So because if you can't answer your clients' questions and you can't help them with absolutely every option or possibility, they're going to go to someone else that can. Yeah. So you don't have to be a master of all trades, but you have to have at least the basic knowledge or have someone to refer to. So I'm not a mortgage advisor and I'm never going to claim to be one in Dubai. But I will refer people to, a mortgage advisor and people that I have worked with and I would definitely recommend. So again, I keep saying that education is key and the knowledge is key to be an expert in this game. And last question now before we wrap up. So looking back on your journeys as you entered real estate to where you are today, what was missing? What could have helped you get to where you are sooner?
For me, it was more of guidance towards the right path, because obviously I was told to just go in and find my own way. It took me some time, but at the same time, if I would have been told, okay, if you know the city well, you know the areas well, perhaps secondary is better for you. You should stick to secondary rather than me going into off-plan first and then into secondary and then perhaps covering all of Dubai rather than specializing in one area. So that's the main thing for me.
Okay, for me, proper training, proper expectations.
Yeah.
If I was told about maybe the things as they are.
Yeah. The reality.
The reality, and a good mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was missing.
She's going to be like, no, I had a great time.
No, honestly, actually, thank God I had a great mentor. But on the other hand, one thing is that I didn't have thick skin, which
Yes.
I do have now, because this game is really dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty from which side you want. Because I learned my lesson. From the developer side, that you pitch the project to the client, give all the information, go on the site, show them everything, and then they go directly to the developer.
Or the developer goes directly with your
Exactly.
client. This also can happen.
The agent that might be even your own friend, colleague, that might steal your client. The client himself completely lying to you and is an agent. I mean, I don't know where to start from, you know what I mean?
Or the agents who call you, they act as they are brokers. I had a few days ago, and literally I spent 20 minutes of my life, but I already thought that it was an agent. I had this thought of the way he was talking to me. So I could understand that, but okay. And then I said, let me practice as well with this project. I will explain to him everything. Let me see how the things go. So then after we had a long conversation, I suggested him to have a meeting. So then, of course, I followed up on WhatsApp regarding the meeting, and the client disappeared. So a few days ago, I just wanted to have this case closed. I just Googled his number, and turns out it was an agency who nobody knows, which doesn't have even a proper website. It's just some line that says it's a real estate agency. Okay, so I just reached out to them. They called me back, and then I told them a few nice things. Let it be your last time when you do that. Believe me, you will find troubles if you do them. So no, it wasn't threatening, but I mean, I made the things really clear for them that this is not the way you do business in Dubai. You're doing a very dirty business, and you disrespect other agents using their time because they're more knowledgeable than you, because you're lazy just to open and read or go to the developer and to get this information by your own. You just want someone to put it for you very easy. And
spoon feed you.
So I think Dubai really becomes, I think this is also another part which is missing, but now not about Dubai, about real estate here, that it's not well regulated. And this kind of misbehaviors, better to say, they have to be punished or regulated by Dubai Land Government.
I honestly feel like you should not be able to operate without a RERA license, and then I feel like it should be a lot more difficult. So doing something like that, you should be able to report the agent. And then they get struck off. There's rules to things in other countries. And I think they're doing. I think it will come. I think it will come, because I think more and more people will be complaining about such stuff. So I think for me, looking back on, just to wrap things up, looking back on my journey, I think what would have helped me is probably, I think it's more about myself, and it will be believing in myself more. because I got told like so many times that, you know, well, not told, but made to feel like I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't working hard enough, or, you know, I'm not as good as the person sat next to me. And, you know, so you can really allow the people that you are looking up to for guidance and mentorship to make you feel like you're not good enough. And this is why I changed company so many times, because I was finding the place where I fit and where I would excel. So I think my biggest takeaway from my experience so far is don't let no one tell you you can't do something. You can do whatever you put your mind to. There's so many people in this industry making amazing amounts of money, and they are nowhere near the level that, you know, maybe I'm at, like with my experience. So keep believing in yourself and don't doubt yourself is my piece of advice as well. Thank you all so much, Christianna, Qamber and Stasia, for sharing your incredible insights. This has been a truly inspiring and informative conversation. For our listeners, you can find Christianna's, Qamber's and Stasia's contact information in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe to Coffee with Kiran for more insightful conversations.